Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. How you all doing? Today is the 8th of August. It's the 8th month and the 8th day, but it's 2023. It's another Tuesday, and we're here for 1800 seconds. And I just want to say thank you all for jumping in. Thank you all for spending these 1800 seconds with me. I'm excited about the conversation this evening. I really am. And just in case people are stopping by for the first time, just in case they are catching the replay, I want to remind people that this channel is not about gloom and doom. It's not about negativity. It's not about pessimism, but this channel is all about inspiration, motivation, and challenging ourselves to be better today than we were yesterday, and making sure that we are intentional about trying to show up better tomorrow than we did today, and making sure that all things considered, we are trying our best. We're trying our best, doing our very best to show up as our best selves, even in the worst of situations, no matter what situation life presents. We are intentional. We're deliberate about at least trying. Somebody say you ought to at least trying to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. God knows life gives us so many opportunities to not show up our best selves. Life presents all these opportunities that will try our character, that will pull at our integrity, that will challenge our social values, that will gnaw at the core of who we are. But guess what? After these conversations, when we rehearse this and we go over and over and over it, so it becomes second nature to us to say, you know what, I'm going to show up my best self, even in the worst of situations. That I'm not going to, and I know it was one of our first lady who said, when they go low, we go high. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. When life seems to take me low, I'm going to go high. When people seem to take me low, I'm going to go high. When situations seem to try to take me low, I'm going high. I'm going high because higher is where I allow my character to shine. Higher is where I allow my integrity to be on display. So always focus on going higher, always focus on the winner in you, always focus on the better that's in you, always focus on the victor that is inside of you, always focus on the success that is inside of you, always focus on the glory that's inside of you, the grace that is inside of you, the hope that is inside of you, the value that is inside of you. Always focus on that. Don't let people pull you into a mode of being where the only side of you see is an ugly side, a side that you don't like, a side that you regret when he or she shows up. Don't let people pull you into that space all the time. Don't do that. You owe it to yourself not to go there. As a matter of fact, you owe it to yourself to keep focused. You owe it to yourself to keep positive. You owe it to yourself to stay in a place where you can just smile right on through life. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to stay focused. We're going to talk about how to keep smiling, because I realize that life is happening. And as much as we talk about disappointment and failures and all these sorts of things, we have to remind ourselves that I play a role in this. I play a role in this thing that's called positivity. It is up to me whether or not I smile. Let me say that again. It's up to me whether or not I smile. It's not up to anybody else, because somebody else could say something and they don't want me to smile, but it's still up to me whether or not I smile. Somebody could say something to try to steal my joy, to try to steal my smile, to try to zap my energy, to put me in a negative space, but it is up to you. I said this before, my response matters. It matters how I respond. It matters how I respond to everything that's going on in life. It's your response that matters. And this evening I want to talk about our response to life in general, and our response as staying focused. So staying focused is my response to a lot of things. Smiling is my response to a lot of things. So I want to talk about that. But before I do, I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs, those people who I see in the chat first. And then I'll just remind those other people who are catching the replay, who are seeing us for the first time. Do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. Just subscribe. And then after you subscribe, click on the notification bell, because it lets you know whenever I've gone live, or whenever I have uploaded new content. Can y'all tell I have a lot to say because I'm talking so fast? I have a lot to say. And that is why I am talking so fast. So I think I'm just going to slow down and become very deliberate in what I have to say. Now, I'm not going to slow down to a mummy's pace, but I am going to slow down so that I don't sound overly excited. But I'm excited about something that I said to someone earlier today. So let me shout out the LTTC VIPs and I'll come right back. All right. I want to shout out Hattie Boone, Annie Cutler, and Sonia Bailey. I see others who are in the chat, but you haven't said anything to me in the chat. Come on, say something so I know you're here. There you go. There you all go. Yeah, I know for the past couple of weeks, and this even earlier this week, and this is just Tuesday, there have been storms up and down the East Coast and along the eastern yes, up and down the East Coast. So make sure that you all are safe. And I know that tornadoes have been hitting the Washington DMV, tornado watches in North Carolina, thunderstorms and lightning storms as far down as Georgia and Florida. So you all make sure that you all are safe, and just be careful and stay safe. All right. I said to someone today, keep looking until it looks different. Let me pack my stuff and get out of here. And can I tell you all how that thing resonated with me? Someone was going through something, and I said, just keep looking until it looks different. And I didn't realize the power or the impact of those words and what they would later do to me when I walked away from the conversation. And when I walked away from the conversation, I heard myself saying that, whatever it is, keep looking until it looks different. Now, that can be taken so many ways. Keep looking until it looks back at you, or keep looking until time allows it not to have the same impact on you, or keep looking until you see something different in the situation or different about the situation. But whatever it is, keep looking until it looks different. Your stamina will cause you to keep looking. Your steadfastness will cause you to keep looking. Your zeal will cause you to keep looking. So keep looking at it. Sometimes you have to keep looking at your trials. You have to keep looking at your tests. You have to keep looking at your temptations. You have to keep looking at your challenges. You have to keep looking at your obstacles until they look different. Sometimes you can look at them so long until they don't even look like an obstacle. It just looks like a fixture that's somewhere in your house. Sometimes you could keep looking at a hurdle until it doesn't even look like a hurdle anymore, but it looks like a trophy. And why would I say that? Because you see it as a hurdle, but guess what? Keep looking until it looks differently. Keep looking at it. So when you keep looking at your hurdle and then you realize at one point you're on the other side of it, your hurdle doesn't look like a hurdle anymore, but it looks like a trophy. You see what I'm saying? Because you kept looking at it. And you said, you are not going to conquer me. I'm going to conquer you. You're going to challenge me, but I'm going to prevail. So whatever temptations, whatever tests, whatever trials, whatever hardships that you're dealing with, keep dealing with them. Keep looking until they look different, because you'll shift and you'll change perspectives, but it will stay there. And then one day you will not look at it as a challenger that you might feel you are now, but one day you'll look at it as the one who has the victory over that thing. Just keep looking. That really doesn't even have anything to do with what I want to talk about tonight, but it was the fact that it just resonated with me, you all. Keep looking. The people that you think mean you no good, the situations that you think mean you no good, the endeavors that you are seeking, the investments that you are making, keep looking until they look different. All right. The goals that you're setting, the aspirations that you are making, keep looking until they look differently. Let me move on and talk about staying focused. We are here in this month of August. What happened to May and June and July? What happened to them? What happened to them? I want to talk about staying focused, you all, because what I know is that as the weather starts changing, we're moving into hurricane season. We're moving into storm season. Yeah, this is August, and we're starting to move into all of that. Certainly on the East Coast, we're moving to all of that. And it's so easy for things to start stealing your focus and causing you to become distracted. Our young people are gearing up for going back to school. Our days are now getting shorter because we've had the longest day of the year. Now the days are starting to get shorter, and it will become dark sooner. And with all of these things, we seem to respond to all of that. And that is true. That's happening. And life is moving so quickly. Time is filled with swift transitions. Time is full of changing moments, and they change so quickly and so fast. It's Time is filled with swift transitions, movements, and changes and dynamics and what have you. But I want to encourage you all to keep focused. Just stay focused. And as you're staying focused, just smile. Smile your way right on through it. Don't let anybody take your smile away. And that is one of the things that resonated with me when I said keep looking until it looks differently. Because you'll keep looking at some situations until you'll stop frowning and you'll start smiling. There's some things and some people and some hurdles and some circumstances that you will look at and initially you will frown, you will grimace, you have a sad look, but you'll keep looking and you'll laugh and you'll smile at some point. You say, you know what, I made it through that. I made it over that. I survived that. That came to pass. So keep looking until your frown becomes a smile. And I've talked about the power of a smile before, and maybe I'll talk about it a little bit again tonight, but just keep on smiling. Stand in the front of a mirror and just smile. Put a smile on your face and notice what it looks like. Notice what it feels like. And when you smile and when you stand in the mirror and you smile, I want you to remember what it feels like to smile. This is self-therapy. This is self-love. Stand in the mirror and smile and remember what it feels like. Remember what your soul felt like. Remember that you had nothing holding you down, nothing burdening you. But go to the mirror, look at yourself and smile and remember how freeing, how liberating, how invigorating it feels to smile. And remember that you can always create that moment. You can always recreate that moment, the moment of how you felt when you looked at yourself and smiled. Don't forget to smile, you all. I say this all the time. Even if you have to put a note or a smiley face visual around where you are from day to day, whether it's in your office, whether it's in your home, whether it's in your car, but put these smiley faces around that remind you to smile. So you remember what it feels like. You might even, and this sounds rigid. This may sound over the top to some people, but you could just even put a memory, set a timer on your phone to smile. Smile time. We set times for everything else. We ask, I can't even check and see if they're around me, but we ask Siri, Alexa, Chrome, Google. We ask all of them to set a timer for everything else. How about set a timer and remind me to smile? So you set a timer on your phone and says, "This is my reminder to smile." And it's okay. It's okay if it feels awkward first, if it feels strange at first, but it'll feel good. It'll feel liberating. Think about when you just walk past people, think about smiling. I'm just talking about suggestions that might help you smile more to keep us staying positive and staying focused and not letting life get us down so much because life comes with the challenges. A man that's born of woman have a few days and they're full of trouble. Just keep smiling. Whatever you do, keep smiling. Set a timer. I see you smiling, Tracy. I see that. Think about what a wonderful, yes, I've heard the song, but think about what a wonderful world it would be if every time we walk past people, we exchanged at least a smile. Even if we didn't exchange a handshake or hello, at least we could exchange a smile. And even you all, you say, well, Cutler, I don't meet a whole lot of people. I don't have a whole lot of instances to encounter people, particularly not in this pandemic, post-pandemic mode. But think about every time you enter, those of us who working online and using laptops and computers or mobile devices, think about every time you're on a video call. What about if you were just open with a smile? I see people putting in these virtual backdrops and putting blank screens because they don't even want to show their face. Have we gotten, has that become the kind of world in which we live? Where we'd rather not show our face, but we'd rather show a blank screen? We'd rather show an image? Absolutely not. At some point when I'm on a camera, I'm going to smile. One, because I'm thankful to be alive. Two, because I'm thankful to be alive. And three, because I'm thankful to be alive. that almost went somewhere else, you all. Yes. So whenever you see me on camera on videos, at some point in the course of that conference, if my camera is on, if I'm in a speaking role, unless it's a conference with like 70 people and I'm just in listening mode, but if I am in a mode where my camera is open, at some point I'm going to smile. Cutler, why did you smile so much? Because I have the kind of life that is filled with gratitude, a life that's full of gratitude and full of thanksgiving. I have the kind of life that makes me stop and pause and say, wow, what a great life. What a great life I have. Because I do, with all of his, as the poem Le Desiderata, with all of its sham and drudgery, it's still a beautiful world. I have a good life. And I've learned to navigate life. I'll read, maybe I'll close with a poem that talks about I am loved, but it opens by saying, when there are lemons in your life and blahs in your days, oceans in your path and mountains in your ways, you've got to learn to smile through some things. And I'm just here sharing these 1800 seconds tonight, just trying to remind us to smile. Like I said, stand in front of a mirror and smile and remember what it feels like. Put these reminders around you that I have a reason and a right to smile. Nobody can steal my smile. Now, how dare anybody tell me I don't have a right to smile? How dare anybody try to steal my joy? How dare anybody try to interrupt my purpose for smiling? Set a reminder on your mobile device. Smile time. Enter these video calls. Smile. So-and-so, could you open your camera and talk to us? Absolutely. And you open your camera, you go to smiling. And learn how to experience these moments of gratitude, moments like, I have a wonderful life. And it is okay to have a wonderful life. And you don't have to make apologies for having a wonderful life. You don't have to make excuses for the blessings that you have. So don't even do that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I have a good life. It may not be good in the eyes of somebody else, but it's good in the eyes of me. It may not be the best in the eyes of other people, but it's a great life in the eyes of me. Why? Because I get to open my eyes up every day. It's about learning to focus on the positive. It's about learning to look on the bright side. When you learn how to look on the bright side, you'll smile every time. Because sometimes you've had these overwhelmingly successful and productive days. And why did you have those days? Probably because you did not focus on anything negative. I dare say most of those wonderful and overwhelmingly great days were because you did not focus on anything negative. How about doing that tomorrow? How about waking up saying, I'm not focusing on anything negative? Now, if something negative happens or if something negative comes my way, I'm in charge of how I process it. I'm in charge of how I think about it. The thought may come, but how I handle the thought is up to me. How my response is what matters. So you can learn to look on the bright side. Tracy, I love that. Linda said that was one of my mother's favorite songs. I've had a good life. Absolutely. I often say that when I get to the threshold where I'm going between mortality and immortality, I hope that I'm offered the opportunity to look back and say, what a wonderful life it was. Certainly, I look forward to what's ahead, but what a wonderful life it was. But I like the thought of that. Tracy says, imagine being at work and a timer goes off and you just start smiling at everybody. Just your clock goes off and people say, oh, what's that timer for? Oh, that's my smile time. Your what time? My smile time. And you just start smiling at them. I promise you, somebody's going to smile back. But again, learn to look on the bright side. Learn not to focus on the negativity. And I opened up by saying that's what we do here. We don't focus on the negative. We don't focus on those things. We don't focus on pessimism, but we learn to look on the bright side, because when I look on the bright side, there's where the better me resides. The better me does not reside on a darker side, on the gloomy side, on the side of despair, discontentment. That's not where the better me resides. The better me resides on the bright side. Got to stay focused. Got to stay focused. And sometimes when those negative thoughts come, you have to ask yourself, where does that come from? What is that all about? What is that all about? I had that to happen. And when I got in my car, it happened this week. Well, it happened last week. And I remember getting in my car and I said to myself, and I said this out loud, thought, it does not matter how many times you come my way. I am going to process you positively. I'm not going to process you negatively as you might want me to, but I'm going to process you positively. I had to say that to this one particular thought that kept coming to my mind. Nope, you're not going to get me to focus on a negative situation. You're not going to get me to focus on the negative side of a person. That's not going to happen. I'm focusing on the positive, and because I am in charge of how I respond. And how I respond is what matters. And so I'm encouraging you, just pinpoint specific areas where you might have some negative thinking and say to yourself, that's where I need to change. I've got to change that. Why am I feeling down? Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling exhausted? Why am I feeling these things? Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling this overwhelming sense of gloom and doom? You've got to pinpoint specific areas that are sometimes plagued by this negative thinking. And when you do that, that's when you engage in positive self talk, like I did when I got in my car last week and said, thought, you may keep coming, but how I process you is up to me. You're not going to put enmity or strife between me and anybody else based on bringing that thought to my mind. Come what may. Learn how to engage in positive self-talk. You can talk yourself right out of negativity into positive. I need to say this again, you all. I know I didn't finish it that time, but you can talk yourself right out of negativity into positivity. You can talk yourself right out of the depths of despair into blissfulness. You can talk yourself right out of sadness into happiness and peacefulness and joy. You can talk yourself out of chaos. You can talk yourself out of that. It is called engaging in positive self-talk. And it's okay sometimes to let people hear you talking to yourself. It's okay. And if they come and ask you what's wrong, or they come and talk about you might be a candidate for the psych ward, you say, no, no, I'm just encouraging myself. I'm just engaging in positive self-talk, because not necessarily everybody around me engages in positive me talk. So I'm just going to do it for myself. I'm not going to tell myself I'm too tired, I'm too weak, I'm no good at this, I'm no good at that. Absolutely not. That's negativity. But engage in positive self talk. And when you do that, you will keep looking at it. I'm going back to this. You will keep looking at it until you see it differently. You can't engage in positive self talk and have the same perspective that you did when you first started. You can't do that. You'll do things like you'll compliment yourself in the mirror. Because I see myself differently. Keep looking at it until you see it differently. I'm just trying to help us. I really am. I'm not going to be here much longer, but I'm just trying to help us. And when you start feeling better, declutter. We've said this before, but declutter, clean up around you. Make sure your workspace, your day space, your live space is clean, presentable, navigable. Color, why would you say that? Because that then becomes an analogy of your life. It becomes an analogy of your life. Stay focused and keep smiling. Keep looking at it until it looks differently. Keep holding your head up. Keep your head up and keep your hopes up. Understand that you are loved and you're full of value. And you're going to be okay. You're going to step into better as soon as you believe it in your heart and conceive it in your mind. Engage in positive self-talk. Say things like I said when I wrote this poem, I am loved. It says, when there are lemons in your life and blahs in your days, oceans in your path and mountains in your ways, don't stop to ponder, don't miss a beat. Simply tell yourself, I'm larger than this, for I am loved. I am loved matchlessly, unconditionally, invisibly, you see. Yes, I am loved. When in your mind there is confusion and in your heart there is pain, but there are no stars in your night, but your days are filled with rain. Don't weep and wonder, don't ever skip a tune. Simply tell yourself, I am better than this because I am loved. I am loved perpetually, undeservingly, like no other. I tell you, I am loved. This is positive self-talk. When anxiety overwhelms you and uncertainty overtakes you, when insecurity befriends you and all your fears come to shake you, do not only look without, for you must look within and simply tell yourself, I am greater than this because I am loved. I am loved without a limit beyond measure or degree. I am greater than my circumstances, for I know assuredly God loves me. Keep looking at it until it looks different. You all stay focused, stay positive, and keep smiling. I just wanted to share that this evening. I just wanted to hopefully have a little fireside chat and uplift somebody's heart, encourage somebody's soul, and warm somebody's spirit. Just hang in there. Know that the tests and the trials and the temptations, they come to pass. They come, but they come to pass. Remind yourself until the next time we talk, I am loved. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. Keep your heads up, keep your hopes up, stay safe, stay sane, and make sure that you understand that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. You all take care. Have a fantastic evening. Until the next time we talk, tell somebody, come on, let's talk to Cutler. Good night.